of a caption, the music builds further and the tension rises as the female becomes hurt. This is when things are taken to the next level, as fear within the audience rises when things become visibly serious. The close-up of the cut shows the detail and vulnerability towards the character. At this point, we can be suggested that the female is the princess in Props 8 Fears of Action. An object to the villain's scheme she is. It looks like something's bit you, creating enigmas around the remark, questioning whom or what has bitten her. Notice how it's always the female hurt or scared. Generally in horror genres, the young female is depicted as weaker. The lighting on the subject was created using a small torch, giving a sense of realistic camera light, not a Hollywood technology which would appear unbelievable in this situation. In the next frame, a high-angle shot is used to depict the weaker female character, following a previous shot of her injured. During this sequence, they begin to argue and cracks begin to form in the strength of their relationship. This gives impressions of the instability between the couple and the development of the supernatural being stronger than them occurs. Then cuts to another caption in which it only shows one word, encounter. Throughout this next sequence, I used fast-paced editing and quick shots to really keep the tempo upbeat with the ever-rising volume to help build suspense further. I learned that through my textual analysis, the horror genre conventionally uses quick cuts to keep building this tension and furthering the action. One shot in particular during the sequence of importance is the small picture of the small child, burnt and torn. These effects on the prop give an outdated and old effect to the photo. This picture has connotations towards the villain of the story. We finally start to understand that this girl be the picture be the causing of the disturbance. This creates enigmas in the audience to start questioning whether this girl could be the root of all problems. The music gets to an all-time high as it cuts to black for a few seconds. A shot of the bedroom fades from the black using a cross dissolve to show a new time frame. Like previous scenes in this style, it uses a night vision, rec button and timecode to deliver the true realism the genre needs. As the music gets to an all-time high and dropped off, when the silence occurred, the audience is at its most tense, as it's been throughout the entire trailer. The second last enigma to the trailer occurs when the door slowly starts to creak and then slams closed. This is what the entire build-up to the trailer has been waiting for. This enigma leaves us questioning how the door closed and who's responsible. With a loud boom directly on the door, closing it when it cuts to the title of the film using a bad TV effect. Providing a release date which I found to be essential during audience research, it cuts to the billing information and the film website, which is a link to the Twitter and website, which uses viral marketing by using social networks sites to promote itself. This is conventional during horror trailers such as Paranormal Activity. The final scene is a night vision shot of the couple leaving the bedroom in distress. I deliberately had the female cross the path of the camera to create distress, making visibility obsolete. This meant that I could quickly cut to the small girl at the end of the corridor with a loud bang to create the final scare in the trailer. The reason this worked so well was the split second that the visibility was reduced, making the cut to the girl so much better, because it was more unexpected. This final shot of the small girl is the final closing enigma. Is it her who causes the disruption in the house, and how will they overcome it? Will they even overcome it? It cuts to a TV bar's screen using no signal to end the trailer. This abrupt ending questions the safety of the couple with further enigmas. Audience feedback. Poster. Questionnaire. I asked my target audience, what genre do you expect this media text to fall under? Horror, thriller, sci-fi, slasher or action? I was pleased that 72% told me that horror was the most they expected it to fall under. Next I asked them, in which component of the poster do you understand the most narrative? 32% of surveys told me that the paragraph at the top was where they understand the most narrative, followed by the imagery at 28%. I then asked them, in which parts do you understand the genre most? A whopping 72% of surveys told me that the colours was where they understand the genre most. I believe that this is where the red, black and white comes most into play. It is then followed by typography at 10%. Website questionnaire results. I asked, do you think the colour scheme is consistent throughout the website from the poster? A staggering 100% told me yes. This means that I have carried the same consistent colours throughout the poster to the website. Question 2. Is the inclusion of sound effects available on the homepage valuable or not? Just beating it a yes, 64% told me that the sound was valuable on the homepage. This is a good inclusion.
Which part of the poster do you find to be the most striking?
The imagery is striking as I really like the effects portrayed on them. It gives a realistic and cinematic effect.
Most likely the image, as it is the largest part of the poster. It's dominant and striking and offers narrative on the story.
The title, Supernatural Phenomenon, is really striking as the red really contrasts with the black background. The fonts all in the uppercase are quite powerful. Along with this, the large central imagery complements this and offers narrative along with the title.
Question 2. How effective do you think the tagline is towards the film's narrative?
I think the tagline is very effective as it causes enigma towards the film, questioning why not to sleep alone.
I really like the way it engages with the audience and asks direct questions towards them. This way it can cause an enigma within the narrative as well.
It helps push the film's narrative because the imagery complements the tagline really well. The way it questions what lurks while you sleep and the disruption in the image helps bind the two together.
Question 3. Do you feel as though there's enough information provided within the poster?
I like the review from The Mirror as this provides information on what an expert thinks on the film and helps promote it. However, I was disappointed to find there was no release date found on the poster.
There's plenty of information along the bottom of institutions and legal information. However, I was disappointed to see there was no certificate rating to let us know the legal age of the film. There was also no release date, which I find necessary.
There's plenty of information along the bottom, but the more important part of the release date is missing.
During my questionnaire, a staggering 100% told me that they'd like to see a release date on the poster. I was disappointed to realise in my final product I had forgotten to include the release date. This was a major downfall in the information side of the poster as I hadn't followed conventions, nor had I provided the consumer needs. If I was to change my poster in any way, I would have provided this information.